let's move on to making the cover. You need 2 pieces of thin chipboard or thick cardboard, or of course you could put stick 2 thinner pieces of cardboard together. 8 inches by 5.5. So what I normally do when I've got a page, so we'll take one of the pages from our album. When I've got my page, that, because we're using binding rings, that needs to come up to the edge of there on the one side, on the left hand side. Then I'm going to make a 1/4 inch border all the way around, because I like to have a little bit of a border on mine. So you can measure whatever size page you do in a future album. Just measure either 1/8 on the 3 sides extra and flush to that left hand side, or you can do a 1/4 inch on those 3 sides extra and flush to that side. So let's get on, and we need a 12 by 12 sheet of paper for this. So I've chosen a K & Company. It's got lovely glitter on the front, it's lovely. So what we need to do, you need another 2 inches on your cover size all the way round, so you're going to need 7.5 by 10. So that will give us a border of 1 inch all the way round. I'm going to put some adhesive on now. I'm going to use my Scotch glue for this. The main reason I don't use the ATG is that it tears off this particular board. It tears the top off as you're putting the adhesive on. I don't quite know why it does it, but it does. So just on this particular board that I use. So stick that down, centre it. Then we want to just trim those edges. I can find my scissors. You're going to just trim across, don't worry about measuring this one, around about 1/8 of an inch on all 4 corners. Then we can pop some more adhesive, make sure it's right on the edge. And the best thing to do then is just take that down onto your surface and push it down, and that will make you a nice edge. I'll do the short sides first. So I'll do all the sides like that and come back. You'll be left with this. We need a piece of card to go in the centre and decorate that one. It's 7 3/4 by 5 1/4. That'll leave you a nice small border around the edge, cover up all those marks and the paper. And I'm going to stamp a collage in there. Well, I'm going to stamp something, and then I'm going to use the scraps. I'm not going to stamp a collage, I'm going to use the scraps as a collage. So we use up all our scraps. So I'm going to use this image, and I'm using the Versamark because I want a nice sharp image on this page. And the script stamp and the brilliance again, and I'm going to just stamp that around the edges. I'm going to get some scrap paper and just put on my desk. Just stamp around a few of the edges, just to, I've done it at the same sort of angle as, and then we can fill in a bit with the papers. That we have left. So then collect together all the little scraps and things that you had, and I'm just going to decide where to put some. So I'm just going to stick that on there. That'll be fine. I could take it down a bit if I wanted to, or just in line with that. Maybe there. Just play around with it until you get what you want. Probably there would be nice. So I'll pop some glue on where I think that I want it. Pop that on there. So I've stuck that one on. Now just carry on, play around with the scraps, whatever you like, get them all together and just play around with them until you're happy where you want them. So I'll do that. So as you can see, I've made a little collage with my scraps, and now I'm going to just trim around the edges. I've got the other bits of scrap that I can do on the back page, or the back cover, the piece we're going to use. So now just trim round. Of course, some of these are big enough to use again on the back. Well, there's pieces that are left, I should say, that are bigger. There. So that looks like that now. So you can embellish it with some flowers and things on that. We're going to stick that on there. That looks really pretty. And you can do the back cover the same, and then we'll put our holes in for our binding. So I've shown you on other videos that I've done, I make binding strips, what I call binding templates. This one's an 8-inch one, so I don't have to keep measuring every time I do it. If you do a piece of card sort of 2 inches, I've measured in here 1/2 inch, so I've got my holes at 1/2 inch from the edge. This side I've got them 3/8 inch from the outside. So draw a line 1/2 inch down and 3/8 inch down on that side, and then find the centre point, draw a line down and put your holes in the centre where the 4 lines meet. And then, of course, this is an 8-inch, I've got that one at 4 inches, these at 2 inches. So measure 2 inches in, put your line down, and then where the 4 lines meet, you punch a hole. And that will give you your template. I'll let you see that a bit closer, and then you can see what I've done. And then every time you need to do something like this, you'll have one. You see I've got ones for all the different sizes, a 5-inch one, a 7-inch one, a 4-inch one, so I don't have to keep measuring all the time. So we want our binding holes on that side. Do it any way you want to. So because our binding strip on the pages is 3/4 inch, I'm going to use the 3/8 inch holes, and I just pop that on the edge, and you've got your holes already marked. So all you need to do, you see, is just go like that with your pencil. So you've got your lines there, and then you can punch your holes for your binding. So you can go ahead and do that. I've used my crocodile, the biggest hole, to punch my 3 holes where my pencil marks were, and I'm going to set some eyelets in there, and that will give you your front cover, so you don't only have to decorate now. So I've used my Cutterbug, and I've used the biggest hole to make my holes where my pencil marks were, and that will give you your front cover. Do the back one the same, obviously back to front, so you want your holes on the other side. So instead of the right hand side, you want the holes on the left hand side. So using the same strip as you used before, so your holes are in the same place. Obviously this one's a little bit bigger, so centre your page within your strip, and then pop it on and make your little hole, your little pencil marks in the holes, and then you've got them there. So go along and do all your pages the same, and then you can just, if you want to put eyelets in there, you can. I wouldn't even bother. I think it's strong enough without. I'd put eyelets in the cover though. I always put eyelets in my covers because it finishes it off nicely anyway. And then when that's done, you can go on, thread your binding rings through, decorate your cover, decorate your pages a bit more, and I'll show you the finished album.